25,000 milliamp hours, 170 watts. 4 devices charging at once. Those are the 3 numbers Sharge puts on the box for the HyperTower 170. 2 of them fall apart the second you put this thing to work, and I'll show you exactly which. And here's the odd part. You and your buddy can buy this exact bank and walk away with completely opposite opinions of it. And it all comes down to one thing Sharge doesn't put in the box and doesn't say a word about. Get that one thing right, and it's excellent. Get it wrong, and you'll feel like you wasted your money. I'll show you both setups so you know exactly what you're getting into. I got to test this for free, but Sharge had no say in what I'm about to tell you, and I'm about to say some things they won't love. This thing is a tower, 6¼ inches tall, with a footprint barely wider than a soda can. On a crowded cafe table, it takes up almost no room. Sharge calls it soda can sized, which is true right up until you pick it up, because it weighs 670 grams. That's a soda can filled with concrete. The screen is the part I actually like. Most power banks show you a battery percentage and call it a day, but this one gives you live wattage on every single port, plus temperature, plus cycle count, plus battery health, which is the number that tells you whether this thing is dying and how fast. That is the exact information manufacturers usually bury, so I'll take it.
What I don't like is that it's not bright enough, and you kind of have to squint in daylight. It blanks out after 1 minute, so you have to keep tapping the button every time you want to check the stats and how much it charged, which is okay considering this is a power bank and its role is to preserve battery. Ports are 2 built-in USB-C cables, one retractable and one braided, which also acts as a lanyard, plus a 3rd USB-C port and a USB-A. And a warning on that USB-A because it's output only, so don't try charging the bank through it and wonder why nothing's happening. Any of the 3 USB-C ports will give you 100 watts on its own, which handles a MacBook Pro, most USB-C laptops, a Steam Deck, an ROG Ally, and anything else you'd carry. It fed my MacBook Pro at the full speed it asks for without any drama. One heads up if you're charging a phone though. My Oppo capped at 43 watts off this bank instead of the 80 it takes from its own charger, because those headline phone charging speeds are locked to the brand's own brick. And that's true of every power bank and not just this one. So your phone charges fast, just not its absolute fastest. But that 170 watt headline is a total, not a single port number, and you only see it in one specific configuration with 3 ports running. Plug in 4 devices and you get 165 watts spread across them. Here's where it's supposed to earn the name. On paper, the obvious rival is Anker's 25,000 milliamp hour 165 watt bank, and when you connect 3 or 4 devices to the Anker, its total drops to 130 watts, while the Sharge is rated to hold the full 165. The catch is that 165 is the most it can do, and you only get there if your devices actually pull that much. I plugged in 2 phones, my MacBook, and some earbuds, and the total sat around 75 watts, because that's all 4 of mine wanted. Your setup decides the rest. Load it up with a hungry 100-watt laptop, a fast-charging iPhone, and a tablet all at once, and you'll climb toward that number. And that's where it really does beat the Anker, which throttles down to 130. With everyday gear like mine though, you'll sit well under it. So the 165 is a real edge, just one you'll only feel if you actually stack up several big devices at the same time. Recharging tells the same story. On the kind of charger you probably already own, mine crawled to full in 2.5 hours, because it only ever draws what the charger hands it. Give it a proper 100-watt charger and it takes nearly all of it, 97 watts on the screen. Mine was past halfway in under 40 minutes, and a full charge lands around 80 to 85 minutes. The only catch is Sharge doesn't put that charger in the box.
And that same charger is what makes or breaks pass-through charging. Before I talk about it though, if you enjoyed the video so far, give it a like and subscribe, because every video shows you the gadget's actually worth your money. Right, so pass-through charging means it tops up your phone while the bank charges itself from the wall. It works, but it's fussy about power. The bank has to be above 50% and your wall charger has to be feeding it at least 65 watts. The part that trips you up is that the compact travel charger you probably carry doesn't clear that bar. With the wall bricks from my phones, I couldn't get it to trigger at all until I ran it off a proper 100-watt charger. But once it did, it kept my phone topped up at around 20 watts while refilling itself. So it's fine for a phone and earbuds on a hotel desk overnight, but the moment your charger is too weak, which is most of the time, the feature just sits there doing nothing. Which brings me back to that 25,000. Read the fine print on the bottom and you'll see that the rated output is 14,500 milliamp hours. That's because 25,000 is measured at the cell's 3.6 volts and your phone charges at 5. Roughly 80% of the energy survives the trip. That worked out to about 3.5 charges of my 6,000 milliamp hour phone in my testing, and more if your phone's battery is smaller. Sharge isn't cheating you here, because Anker's own website admits the same 30 to 45% loss. Every brand prints the flattering number, something to keep in mind when you're out shopping. At 90 watt hours, it's under the 100 watt hour airline limit, so it's safe to put it in your carry-on when you're flying. But is it worth it? At $109, it's close against the Anker, which gives you a longer 18-month warranty, while Sharge only gives you 12. But if you can get it when it's on sale at around $79, then it's a no-brainer. Just buy it for the right reason. If you actually run several power-hungry devices at once, like a big laptop, a fast-charging phone, a tablet, this thing beats the Anker at the total output power. For everyone else, what you're really paying for is a great screen, 2 built-in cables, and pass-through that works if you own a strong enough charger. Skip it if you only ever charge a phone, because 670 grams in your jacket pocket is just resistance training. I put the links in the description below with the current deals they're running right now, so make sure you check those out. Sharge also sent the other end of their lineup, the Icemag 3, and this is a little 10,000 milliamp hour magnetic pack that snaps onto the back of a phone and charges it wirelessly. It comes with a clear shell, an RGB glow, and a kickstand built in so you can prop the phone up while it charges. The thing everyone asks about is the fan, because yes, there's an actual cooling fan in here. Sharge calls it a whisper. I put a sound meter on it and got 35 to 37 decibels, which is quiet room territory, so it isn't loud the way a laptop is loud. But a power bank is supposed to make no sound at all, and this one you can hear. A bit louder than my MacBook, which doesn't even spin up unless I push it. On a silent nightstand, you'll notice it. The good news is, it doesn't run the whole time. It kicks on when charging starts and shuts itself off after a few minutes. The catch is, there's no button to kill it or the RGB on demand. Plug a phone in and the light show and the fan both just happen. I actually like the RGB, and the kickstand is handy for standing the phone up to watch something while it tops up. Capacity is the same honest math as the tower. That 10,000 turns into about 6,000 you can really use, which is roughly a full charge of a big phone, and a bit more if your battery is smaller. One straight caveat though, this is built around Apple's magnetic charging. The full 25-watt wireless is tuned for recent iPhones, and I'm on Android, so I can't honestly tell you it hits that number, because my phone doesn't even do the magnetic part. What I can tell you is the wired side is a normal 35-watt USB-C that charged everything I plugged into it. If you're an iPhone person, that magnetic 25 watts is the reason to look at this. If you're not, you're mostly buying a chunky wireless pad with a fan. At around $68, it's fair for what it is. Get it if you've got a recent iPhone and you want magnetic top-ups with a bit of flair and you don't mind a little fan noise. Skip it if you're on Android like me, because you'll never touch the feature you're paying for. Link is in the description for this one and the HyperTower. And let me know in the comments if you'd buy this over Anker.